Back, everyone. I'm happy to be joined by Cloud9's High and Meteos at the desk. Guys, you guys, a very convincing win there. Was that business as usual, or did it go as planned?
Well, as far as picks and bans go, they kind of surprised us with the first pick Morgana, but bans, we did pretty well in that. So we went into the game having a plan, and we got to execute our plan because they did what we expected, basically.
What was that plan?
Well, we kind of assumed we would get Elise because we thought something would be of higher priority to them than Elise. And so then we didn't actually expect they would play Eve, but we've practiced against it enough in scrims, so we sort of know what we're supposed to do against it. We were able to get a lot of pink wards down early, and then you basically just try to catch Eve when he's walking around because Eves are sometimes careless because they're used to not checking for green wards. And so for the first blood, he walked by a pink ward, and Lemon did a really nice roam, and we were able to catch him and kill him. And that kind of set the momentum for the game.
Okay, so then speaking of actually getting catches, High, you had a one-on-one kill early on in your lane against Pobelter, or I believe, sorry, it was the first blood kill, if we can get a replay of that one coming in. I forget which kill it was, but it's the first blood. We get that on your screen. It is actually the hook. So I'm backwards. But yeah, if you want to walk us through, just it's from the pink ward or what?
Yeah, so we saw him at the pink ward, and Lemon was already roaming to mid because he said he was. So we saw Evelyn on the pink ward, and then we just said, hey, collapse on this guy. Let's catch this guy. And Lemon gets a really good hook off on him, and we get a free first blood.
Okay, so you played around that very well. I do actually want to talk to you about your one-on-one kill against Pobelter. First of all, talk to me about the matchup, and then why did you see that opening to kill him?
So the matchup is actually really terrible for Kha'Zix. I've done it like 20 times just Bjergsen, and whoever the Kha'Zix is just loses every single time.
Wow.
And it's really bad. If you notice early game, he was like 36 CS to like my 17.
Yeah.
And I can't really do anything about that. But when Evelyn died, I can start jumping on LeBlanc. Because for you to win the lane, you need to be able to jump on him. And if their jungler's alive, you jump on him, you might die.
Sure.
But with Evelyn out of the picture, I got to jump on Pobelter, and he kind of underestimated my damage and died to my Ignite. So I got a free kill off of that. And then that basically made me safe from him killing me anymore. So
then why did you pick Kha'Zix into LeBlanc? Because they picked that champion early, and you last picked Kha'Zix.
Well, I'm not going to tell you my other choice, but there is another choice that we were thinking about. We didn't necessarily need magic damage because we have Shyvana, Elise. So we wanted something with 80 damage. So I just opted to go with Kha'Zix because he scales better. Okay. And if I just survive the lane phase, I should outscale LeBlanc and win.
Okay.
So.
And of course, you managed to do that. You guys won the game. Meteos, we actually have an endgame team fight we want you to walk us through here. It's right in front of the base. If we can get that on your screen. Basically, you guys took a bunch of damage early on, but kited it out. Walk me through this fight.
All right, so here they were off on the left, so we knew we could just rush the tower down. And then we knew they were going to try to fight us right as soon as the tower went down, so we just quickly killed the tower and then just turned on them. Trundle initiated like really aggressively, so we just focused him and killed him. And if you get one kill in a team fight with Kha'Zix, you can usually winch through the resets and the raw burst. So their tank's out of the picture, and we have a super fed Kha'Zix, and we were basically just able to clean up. And Sneak got a nice ult kill at the end.
Yeah, so you guys got a bunch of kills there. And I actually want to press you on a champion you guys have gone to a lot as well, with Shyvana for balls. It seems like your sort of go-to top laner at this point. Why is this so effective for you guys?
Well, in that game, Renekton was banned. And there are plenty of top lane choices that we could do, but we just wanted Shyvana in that case because Balls is a really good Shyvana. He's very good at it. So we just decided to give him Shyvana with Renekton ban. So just give him one of his better champions.
Just give him a strong champion. Go for it?
Yeah.
All right, so moving forward, you guys have 3 more games this week. You've got Curse, Dignitas, and CLG. How are you feeling about Super Week?
Well, all the teams are really good. I think CLG will probably be our hardest game because they beat us last time, and we didn't play that great against them. But we've been practicing a lot, and I think our preparation will be a lot better, and hopefully we can beat them.
Okay. Now, last question for you guys. Right after Super Week, you guys are flying over to Poland to play in another tournament. How are you feeling about that one right after Super Week?
Right. So every team after Super Week has a week break off, except for our team. We're flying to IM Katowice or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And we're going to play against World Elite in the first round of that tournament. We're super excited for it, but we're not thinking about it right now because we have to finish Super Week first.
Okay.
After we're done with that, we'll start preparing for IM and just start thinking about it. But for now, I'm excited to travel, but I haven't thought about it too much since Super Week is more important for the moment.
Great. Well, of course, you guys have started off well in Super Week, and congratulations on your win. We'll see you guys, of course, the rest of the week, and we'll see if you guys can make first place. Guys, we got more going on. Let's send it over across the studio to Raven Kobe.
Thank you very much, Freak. Let's dive right into our next match, Coast versus Team Solo Mid. When you look at these two teams historically, it's been a pretty one-sided matchup.
Yeah, I mean, if you do look at the regular season games, then TSM has won 9 of their 10 games against Coast. But once again, we have Reginald covering the mid lane, and he'll be going up against a very strong solo laner, Shifter. Coast's playstyle depends on their solo lanes getting ahead, and so if Shifter can outplay Reginald mid, then it's going to play right into the strengths of Team Coast.
But it is important to point out the first and only time Coast beat TSM in a regular season game was 2 weeks ago in one of the most exciting finishes we've seen this year.
Yeah, it was a huge upset as well. Leading up to the game, the story was all about TSM's winning streak and whether they could break the North American LCS record for the longest run. Coast changed that story, and they've been on a hot streak themselves ever since, winning 5 of their last 6 games, as we've said so many times.
Yep, and Coast got the win last time they met, but this time they know they won't have the surprise on their side.
Coast is looking a lot stronger than they used to. They finally got out their land nerves.
I don't think they're unstoppable because, I mean, we did beat them and we played really solid as well, but it's just a matter of like how consistent that we're going to play and how inconsistent that they can play.
He's not going to get it! No, my God, he does get it! Coast breaks the win streak of Team Solo Mid to go 5-8!
It was a combination of us playing absolutely horrible and a combination of them playing better than they usually do.
You know, I think they were taking us a little lightly last time, and we kind of snuck a win off them.
Bjergsen is definitely a really strong mid laner, whereas Reginald wasn't really playing that much, so he didn't have as much of an impact.
These guys, they let us pull out the game, even though we were 15, 10K behind for like 20 minutes. It doesn't happen. It's not supposed to happen. They need to step it up if they really want to beat us convincingly.
Wow, insert video into LCS Trash Talk thread here.
Oh, man, those Trash Talk threads are really good. You should check them out.
All right, for the inside scoop on this match, let's send it down to Jat, who's with the coach from Team Coast. Jat.
Thank you very much, Riv. I'm joined, of course, by Alex Penn, the coach of Cloud9. And I have to ask you guys, you were the coach of Cloud9. Now it's Team Coast.
There we go.
Still sitting in the summer split. But really, you guys started the split fairly poorly, but have yet turned it around 5-1 in your last 6. How have you guys done it?
I mean, earlier in the season, we were trying to figure out what to do with top a lot. You know, Zion hates the tank meta, so he wanted to figure out how to counter the tank meta, and so he wasn't up playing a lot of those. And we had to get a balance. So now we're having him play like Lee, Shiv, you know, along with like he can pull out Jax and still do the split push. But we needed to work on him getting good on tanks and getting good at fighting with tanks, because like that's obviously not his strength, because he had not spent a lot of time, you know, learning where to position in team fights as much when he's just sitting there split pushing before. So that was probably the biggest thing that like in the last 2 games especially, like learning when to go in with Josh and when not to and all of that. So I think that's like been our biggest improvement.
Yeah, Josh, of course, being Nintendo X, the jungler for you guys. And also, you were mentioning how everyone just has this perception that all Coast does is split push, but that hasn't been the case in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why, because that's, historically that's what they've done in the past, but we've been moving more towards team fighting, and being able to do both is like key. Being able to not get stuck on one so that we can pull out either or, depending on like what matchups we can actually get. So we're not limited to just trying to get the matchup that wins top and trying to win top so we can split push, because that's ideally how you are able to do it.
And coming into this matchup as well, it's TSM, but a different TSM because they're with Reginald. How has that affected your preparation, and what is TSM like with Reginald in the lineup?
I mean, it's definitely more of a wild card because we haven't scrimmed TSM much in the last 2 weeks, so knowing what Reggie's viable pool is basically impossible because all he's played is Zed and LeBlanc so far. So it's more of, and we're blind picking ideally because we're on blue side this game, so if they want a last pick with their mid laner, it's more of being able to pick a safe pick mid that can play against almost anything, which is pretty much what Danny Shifter's pool is right now. So it's not too much of an issue, but we'll see how mid lane goes.
All right, final question for you. Seeing as you guys win this game, how do you see the game playing out for your victory?
I mean, we just have to play super consistently. I think our bot lane we need to make a play bot lane to alleviate the pressure on the other sides of the map. You know, and that's something that we've been getting better at, is like having Nintendo go bottom, allow Darshan in the top lane to have a little bit more breathing room to just farm and win maybe a 1v1, or you know, be able to roam mid and make a play or something like that. So I think our bot lane playing consistently is really a key.
Yeah, and WizFusion's been much better lately, so thank you very much for the interview, Alex Penn. Let's send it back to the guys at the desk to take us into the game.
Thank you very much, Jat. Let's get right to it. Let's look at the starting lineups. On the blue side, it is Coast. Zion Spartan in that top lane, Nintendo X in the jungle, Shifter in mid, WizFusion on AD carry, and Daydreaming on support. All smiles there.
And on the red side, it's TSM. Up top is Dyrus, and the jungle is the odd one, and mid is Reggie. AD carry Wild Turtle and support X Special.
Now, we can't take anything away from Coast coming in here, but what is the feeling knowing that it was such a crazy win? It wasn't you went in, you took out 3 inhibitors. It was down to the wire, and you were almost, if you lost that fight, you were going to lose the game. How do you kind of come off a win like that? You can't expect to do that again.
Well, we've played that reaction clip like 50 times so far, so pretty sure everybody knows what the reaction was from Team Coast. But coming off of that, they can't expect the same thing to happen. They said before, they're not expecting the same thing to happen. So they just focus on it like it's a new game, any other game. Really the wild card now is Reggie, and they're trying to figure it out. There's 2 schools of thought. Will TSM save Reggie's pick till the last, or will they just try and grab something that he's actually comfortable on as early as possible, just to get him some champion that he's comfortable on, because his champion pool is very, very small right now.
And we saw what happened. When Reggie went even, kind of worried about his own divides, the team did well. When Reggie got hit on, the other lanes couldn't really bring up the rest of the slack either. It was versus Cloud9, but the game went completely awry from there on out. So if Team Solo Mid can't get enough power to help Reginald, they kind of start to fall apart. We'll see if he's had any tricks up his sleeve in the past week here. Like we said, it was pretty much since the world stage since we'd seen Reginald play up until last week at 1-1 so far.
Pretty standard bans coming down here very quickly. Yeah, all very standard. Pantheon extremely powerhouse in the jungle. Same thing for Elise. And then a bunch of mid lane bans. TSM actually banning out the Lulu this time. They don't want that lane bully going up against Reggie, because a lot of Lulu's extra power comes from people not expecting the damage that she puts out in the burst. And if Reggie hasn't played in the last 5 months, hasn't played against mid lane Lulu, he'll definitely not be expecting the damage that she can put out, and they don't want him to have to play against that.
You don't expect to be surprised by level 3, level 4 Ignite kills all in by Lulu, but she can do it. She can do it quite easily. Nintendo's picking up Vi here on the first pick for Coast. You got to remember his flash vault breaker that popped up Dyrus and really got them going in their last win over Team Solo Mid. So we'll see if they focus and help top lane, as the Renekton and Annie picked up for Xpecial and Dyrus.
Looks like some early game power from TSM already. No surprise there. They do like to have strong lanes. They don't want a repeat of last week, where their game that they lost, they picked all losing lanes. Mundo up top, losing lane versus Cloud9. Reggie had to play LeBlanc into Lulu, losing lane. And their bottom lane got ganked. So then that was a losing lane. This time around, they want all winning lanes. Let's grab that Renekton and pair Annie with somebody. So I think TSM will focus more on the early game.
The wife steal lane coming out of Coast with Illusion Thresh. Gonna be
the wife steal lane, I like that.
Gragas and Caitlyn possibly on their side. Turtle will be more than happy to grab this up. And I'd feel better if I was Wiz too, because Turtle's Lucian, even though picked, is so scary to see.
All right.
That vein. He's got a smile on his face.
TSM have gone with the grab Reggie something he's comfortable with as early as possible. Well, Turtle, he's given me a chance to talk about the new changes to Corki. Corki's got an extra AD ratio now. 4.3, so at least mouse over, though. We're not close enough to Worlds. No pick on that Corki.
Yep. Oh, man. He's just having a little fun. Let's get everybody going.
Yeah, he's not going to step outside that tower pushing meta that we have right now. Going to that Caitlyn. As we said, TSM want to have all winning lanes this time. They got destroyed by Cloud9 when they had the weak early game. Now they've got very strong early game here.
Wow.
And they grab Reggie something he's comfortable on early. Don't care what shifter is going to run into it. And they do lock in the Gragas for Reggie.
No waiting on that for Coast to lock it in. I thought it was funny last time we spoke with Alex Penn. They were saying they're trying to get Zion, like you said, kind of onto more of the meta so he can kind of play with the champion pools that everybody is now and then have what he has. And then he's like, Jax, win-win.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Shyvana can be built to carry. So
yeah, absolutely.
Building Blade of the Rune King early for Zion, he can still...
He can wing it.
He can still do that, up in the top lane. And Shyvana has a good chance against Renekton. Trundle also would have been a pretty good pick there, but Shyvana as well.
Stealing those dominant
situation. When comboed with Evelynn here, really like TSM's opportunity for some early game ganks. And before Vi does hit level 6 in the jungle, if he meets up, it pretty much all depends on that. Pretty much all depends on if you can hit that vault breaker.
So the game is just about to go live, so let's crunch the numbers. We'll throw some poros too. LOLesports.com. You all voted. 85% of you think that Team Solo Mid is going to get the win and come out on top.
All right, Coast is up to 15%. That's a pretty good vote for them.
They're moving.
Actually. But, man, if you've, been counting on Coast in the last few games, then you're pretty happy.
Surprise Team Solo Mid.
5 out of the last 6. That's huge.
Ban out the Lich Bane coming into this. We'll see. So if it's not Ari for Shifter, but it's still a playmaker. We'll see what he can do coming in with Nidalee. I did say that Bjergsen wouldn't carry that one game on Nidalee, and then he gets a quadra kill in the end. So I'm not going to say anything to the likes, because anything can happen.
In a lot of the games where Coast are winning, yes, focus was all on the Jacks from Zion Spartan split pushing, but they also had Shifter and mid on Nidalee. Shifter can get to his early power point with those spears by building something like Morel and Namicon, and he wins them objective after objective. He just lands spear after spear. So I do like that pickup. Again, locking in the Nidalee for Shifter at mid, giving them a lot of late game power as well. They can go for that poke game.
All right, the team setting up. Peripherals in the perfect position. Looks like somebody wants Dyrus to do well this game. We have Coast on the blue side, TSM on the red side. Game 2 here of Super Week. And we're going to see if Team Solo Mid can keep their wins alive. They're quite high in the standings right now at 13-3. Coast is 7-9 after making that 5-1 run. See if they can keep it going.
You know, I think that the nerf to Doran shield also helps Renekton, because Dyrus up here in the top lane, he's going to have an easier time of bullying Shyvana than he did before. It's actually significant nerfs to that Doran shield. And I'm fairly surprised that we do have Daydreaming going back to that item, starting off with it as well. So bottom lane, especially going with the new hotness, Spell Thieves. Going to try and harass as much as possible with that. And Dyrus going to be doing the same thing, shoving his lane in.
You know you want to, Shifter.
Do it. Shifter has manners. He's not going to do it. Or what you do is you wait till minions are about to spawn, and then you throw it, so they can't go back to the fountain and heal it. Ha!
You are a BM player, aren't you?
I'm pretty BM.
Reginald just on
I
the
pick
outside.
Pantheon all the time, so
yeah.
he's pretty BM.
You don't even give the guy first blood. You just take it.
Ooh, Reggie. Reggie, he said he's an aggressive player. He likes to get close to the action there. He knew somebody was in that bush. Oh,
hey!
Shifter sets up the trap. Look at that ward. He placed that ward all just for this level 1 spear, and it paid off. The trinket ward right there, giving him some good harass. Good start to the lane for him. Dyrus actually helps out. So the reason Renekton trying to help out there on the buff is he gets a little bit of Fury. Any little bit of that for Renekton helping him build up means that more bully potential for that lane. And you can see he uses his Cold and Meek before he hits that 50% mark, so that it actually charges up his rage. And he gets to that power point faster rather than wasting it.
Always something that takes you a second to learn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to charge it. It's all gone. Just 200 gold. Going in the favor as the lanes are being pushed in, most likely in that bottom lane. So we see the level 2 trying to come fast here from Wild Turtle and Xpecial. Xpecial trying to help and get last hits on as well as often as possible, getting that Spell Thief's edge to work. So you get 3 per 30, 3 every 10. Something like that. Nintendo X onto the blue. Looks like Odd One's already level 3 around the jungle, and he's starting to make some moves.
Yeah, Odd One. So he got kind of low on mana there because he did the wolves. He wanted to hit level 3 quickly. And then he did the golems. Oh, wow. They make some good moves here. Both junglers passing each other. Odd One goes for the counter jungling, whereas Nintendo wants to gank bottom. But the ward from Xpecial, very well placed here. It's not just covering the,
I don't think they caught him.
Tri-bush. They'll see him now.
Yeah, now they're going to see him. The Flash Flame comes in. Oh, he gets it again.
What in
he
the
did
world?
the same thing to Dyrus in their last game.
Nintendo is pretty much a god. He's able to predict so many people's flashes. If he goes for it and Xpecial doesn't flash, then oh well, he's behind him.
No way.
Yeah, let's take another look at it.
No way.
He's like, okay, you're going to flash. Nintendo gave it away, too, because he turned. He turned in the direction he was going to go this time.
That
he
was
actually
amazing.
didn't hold it. Last time, he didn't even turn. He ran straight at
Yeah.
the champion. Especially, though, very predictable play right there. Nintendo, again, rewarded for the chance that he takes going for that.
Punch first, ask questions later, gives him first blood.
Man.
5.7, only a 100 gold lead here with what TSM had been able to work before that, but Nintendo X has to be feeling good about that, and I'm sure that puts the team in high spirits to start off a game that they would love to win in Super Week.
Yeah, I guess that ward wasn't... Tyrus just... I guess that ward wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Ooh. Big damage onto Wild Turtle. The Ignite goes down. Wiz is well enough in the range of having mana to get another hit and passive shots off, but no cooldowns for him.
That bottom lane is pretty happy now. Nintendo, by the way, making all the right moves this game. Jumping over the dragon, getting into position. Now he's moving up top. He wants to make the same thing happen with Dyrus. He's too far. He's too far. Unless he wants to flash for this, they're not going to...
Yeah.
Wow.
Got the flash. And this is actually what Alex Penn had said just in the interview. If we can make a play bottom lane and relieve some pressure, then we could start to get things around the map.
Exactly. And the bottom lane definitely really happy about that, but they haven't really transitioned it into more power because Annie Caitlyn is so poke heavy, and they're taking a lot of harass here. But, you know, they haven't gone back to buy. Daydreaming with that first blood cash. See what he goes for.
It's still very TSM-esque on this side. They're saying, yeah, we got killed, but we're still going to push you into this turret as hard as possible.
Yeah. I mean, the new Spell Thieves is extremely powerful for that harass if you play offensively like that. Does get 3 of those procs every 30 seconds.
Right.
And if you use them all the same, they have individual timers. So if you use them all at the beginning of that 30 seconds, then they all come back up at the same time. But if you space them out, then they'll come back. The cooldown on each one will come back spaced out as well. Odd One keeping up that counter jungling. Taking down Pinks.
Ooh. Good hits. Shifter is more than not one of the people that are definitely thread the needle, get some really nice spears in. And really, Spring Split, I think it was, when everybody's using Xerath in Italy, we would see these compositions where you wouldn't even engage the team. They'd all be half health when you got to their inhibitor just because they ate so many spears. Shifter really one of the players to be able to do that. On to Daydream in the bottom lane. They try to relieve some pressure, but they're still going to find it from the Odd One.
Yeah, great flash. Getting in there for the damage. Odd One already with that long sword. Extra damage is going to help out, and they get a kill. Answered back for TSM. They're feeling pretty good. Even though Nintendo made some flashy plays, they got all the early game lanes. No, this CS lead is expected from TSM, by the way, just from the champions that they picked. So it's not anything new coming here. Renekton and Gragas handling their own. By the way, you know, Reggie, it's worth saying, doing very well against Shifter.
Doing quite well for himself. They've faced off before. Shifter is definitely a member of the team that they wanted forever. For the longest time, they played with Jintei. And in interviews, they'd say they were going to use Jintei as well. And when the opportunity arose, Jintei did have to go, but they were like, Shifter right away. He's just someone that has melded with the team. And they always speak about how his champion pool really creates so many opportunities for what Coast can bring to the table. Let's see how he can do. Like you said, 57 to 44 against Gragas.
I want to say that since you're just talking about Shifter, he's taken it upon himself to try and get the Eve warding done. Pink ward and a deep ward by the camp. Shifter, not only does he carry the team a lot, but he's the one actually getting the vision for his team. He just did a lot right there, investing that money, getting that deep ward into the camp to try and track Odd One, because Nintendo has not really had an opportunity to go into the jungle of TSM yet.
Ooh, great grab. Couldn't necessarily hit that Q. He would have put himself on the trap. So they trade back and forth a little bit of damage. Reginald going around for the blue buff. See the same thing coming from Shifter. He just got his. It looks like he may actually try to steal this. They're waiting. They are so waiting. They're like, we don't see him. He went back to his own jungle. Reginald was ready to take that one in the back of the head, but no go there. 68 to 62, as we said in that lane. But looking up top, Dyrus, 72 to 48, and he builds up that Spectral's Cowl first for that hybrid damage.
Yeah, magic damage. There's a decent amount of magic damage on Shyvana early, so it'll also help him if they do have to team fight earlier with taking spears. He's definitely going to be the one on the team that wants to
that's true.
Catch most of those. I do want to point out, though, I was wondering what Daydreamer would do with that first blood money, and he's putting it towards a talisman.
Yeah.
Now, this route of the gold per 5 for supports in 4.3, not very strong for combat stats for the laning phase. No, but he already started with the Doran Shield, so he had a decent amount of those. And he wants to have the disengage for his team later because they are running in Italy, and they will be sieging up at turrets. They want the extra move speed from Talisman.
Ooh. That would have been pretty big. That was a level 7 Nintendude. Definitely would have had an ultimate of Assault and Battery coming in. He is level 7 quite fast, too. Way higher than anyone here.
Yeah, ineffective first gank for Vi. That's always a pretty big win for the enemy team. If they can get... Oh, no. He still has his ulti. He's coming back. He's coming
hook.
back.
One after the other. Oh, he can't get it. He just couldn't get the lantern. He already had the Q going.
So, again, not able to get his ulti off there because it's too close to the turret. But bottom lane for TSM does stay alive.
I like the fact that they didn't decide to just go in because they had the chance. A lot of times Coast can put themselves in a sticky situation, but they're making the right moves here. 1-1, 10 minutes into the game. They are down a bit of gold, but it's expected against Team Solo Mid. Like we said, the lanes would be in their favor up to that first dragon to really turn the tide of this game. Good damage, actually.
Trying to get it there.
So close. Got some good damage, though.
I guess that ward does serve two purposes. You get to go try and steal the Wraiths away as well.
So not as much pink ward coverage coming out as Cloud9 put up last game. See if that hurts Coast. They got a few.
It really just is,
1, 2.
you know, Shifter doing a lot there. Daydreamin has one in his pocket, though. So not only is the one down bottom, but they have another one to be able to place. So they're doing a pretty good job. They're just not quite as aggressively placed, I think.
A lot more had come off of at least grabbing Dyrus last time. Once they got that kill off of his Flash and Vault Breaker, which we saw happen from Nintendo in the bottom lane, they were able to grab that turret, open up the map a bit. It opened up the dragon pressure, so things are happening a little slower for Coast this game. We'll see if they can make their own opportunities.
I can't believe that there's nothing going on mid here because Reggie has not warded up sides. Nintendo, okay, there it is then.
Wee-oo.
Can he land
that? Oh, so close. Reggie gets the move out. Nintendude is going to find an ultimate. The Peacemaker.
Oh my.
That is a dead Nintendude. Odd one very close. A good hook there. Shifter with enough mana. But it looks like he's going Cougar form to clear out mid. They're going to try to get as much damage onto the turret as they're losing Dragon.
I think 5 months of vacation is just what Reggie needed. He's playing great here. Able to turn around that gank, dodge that spear at the end, and they're rewarded with a dragon. Great pickup for TSM here.
Or that free flow and play. Don't worry too much about your mistakes. You know they might happen, but he just plays on through them. Dragon going over. That's now a 2,000 gold lead. Very fast coming in through the game. Another hook onto a special.
Wow.
Constant aggression in the bottom lane. Timbers goes out, but it goes down immediately. And they gain the advantage there. Special going down twice now.
Yeah, Special getting caught sleeping here. Great hook from Daydreamin. And easy for them to combo that into a kill. The flash for it.
Oh, this is going to be... No, they missed the W. Wiz Fusion does not get any of that passive movement speed, and they don't catch up to Turtle. However, they get his flash. They can come back for that for 5 minutes.
All right, bottom lane of Costa. We don't usually talk about it. They are making their own plays nowadays. It wasn't even just the gank from Nintendude. Stepping up pretty big, trying to answer. But TSM still with a fairly commanding lead. And Turtle going back at that point didn't hurt him too much since he had enough money to complete his Bloodthirster anyway. That's the power point that he wanted. He wants to get that complete as soon as possible to start charging it up.
Cyrus says, get out of my home. Zion Spartan's going to stay there for a while. We see sweepers being picked up now on Xpecial. And Daydreamin after the Sight Stones now finally coming out. They see a little more aggression towards Dragon in that bottom lane. They'd love to have one of these guys down there. Neither of them have teleport, so it would be a long, long walk.
Odd one, too, with another sword, another long sword here. I think he might be going for that Blade of the Ruined King build on Evelynn. It's a pretty high DPS build, and then he'll probably go tank after that. And he's much happier this game than Snoopé was because there are not a lot of wards at the campus. It's just that Wraith camp that Shifter keeps warding. Nintendude, though, wants to help out with Vision as well, and he's got a pink ward to place himself. Coming up top with the ulti, Half-life, though, always scary to gank a Renekton when you're low as a jungler.
Don't want to get this one turned around. Zion
Nope.
Spartan.
No ulti, though, for Darius. So
There we
keep that
go.
in
Just
mind.
got the ult up. Yeah, Dyrus won't have that. He's not even half through that cooldown. Nintendo goes and starts with the Assault Battery. The Vault Breaker to follow through, but it's been on cooldown since the wall. He gets it, doesn't hit Dyrus in the tail side. Looks like he's going to get out of this one alive with a bit of a taunt.
I'm always impressed about the confidence of Renekton's to go for the slice and dice when they're barely overlapping champion models. But he did it again. Great job there by Darius, knowing his limits. And they get the Vi ulti down. Pretty long cooldown. Glad to have that threat off the table. Odd One making moves on the bottom side since they just saw Nintendo up top.
Looks like on cooldown we just got word that Odd One has ulted on accident. It happens. That's going to be on cooldown. So
Man, that wasn't even on camera. You guys didn't have to call him out.
2-2, 2K in the lead. No turrets have been dropped this game. Not a regular game for Team Solo Mid in any way. They usually have quite a few turrets right now.
What's he looking to do here? Call over Dyrus. Dyrus should probably move. This. Oh, he gets his flash solo.
Forcing the flash. He's going to run around to running down to Shifter here in the mid lane, giving himself some primal surges to get some attack speed. Take down this turret. Coast is looking to grab some gold for themselves. Right now, he might put himself in a sticky situation.
That is the big story here. Jungler gets cannon minion. Great move from Reggie up top then. Odd One very happy with that one. And Reggie, he got a free flash out of that. Well, it wasn't free because he had to roam up top and they lost turret damage, but was able to grab that. And you have to commend him for the play in LCS. Coming back pretty strong. Now, this is round 2 of the Wraith game. Is Shifter going to steal it up there? Well, we'll never know. We will never
Nintendo
know.
previously hatching that ward on
Reggie
the
got it
Tri-Brush.
again! 2 for 2 with those. There we go.
His own Wraith battle. It's a hard-fought one. 16 minutes in, Nintendo has to back off in the bottom lane, but the pink ward coverage. Look at this, like a landing zone in mid lane here with all these bushwhacks.
Yeah, Nidalee warding up both sides. In case Odd One decides to get a little frisky in the mid lane. Right now, though, looking at bottom, trying to capitalize on the stun from Xpecial. It is up, but Nintendo in the area as well. Oh, no! TSM!
All right, so we'll say nobody saw that one.
TSM. Some blunders down bottom side of the map here. Couple ultis wasted.
Second one in the error column. It's all right. Mark it
that
up.
is the signal for them to leave, but Nintendo comes back.
Oh, so close. Zion Spartan Dyrus going hard in the top lane as well since they have nowhere to teleport to. They want to duke it out. Everybody else is fighting. Why can't they? Dyrus has actually really good damage on this turret. Nobody has a Sunfire cape, so that's going to make it a little harder to take down.
Yeah, Dyrus is doing a great job. I think the nerfs to that Doran shield did a lot for that matchup.
Worked out.
Even more in his favor. And also the threat of Evelynn. You have to realize, these are winning lanes for TSM just in the normal matchup, but then also adding the global pressure of Evelynn. That's always in the back of these players' minds, not being able to go too aggressive because they think she might be in the area. So, expecting those CS differences, we'll have to see if these ultimates from TSM end up costing them, because it doesn't look like it's a high impact when you lose out on an Eve ulti or you lose out on that Tibbers and nothing happens, but it's wasted opportunity for them.
See where the playmaking comes from in this game. It's going to be hard for TSM to really get a good initiation in unless they have that cask that can split someone out, or Xpecial does his, I wouldn't say patented, but that flash Tibbers once he gets it back up off a cooldown.
Definitely not patented anymore.
18 minutes on this one. The Lantern goes in for a bit of vision, and Odd One finds himself a hook. They don't get the steal on that. It's like Wiz Fusion's just backed out.
You know, CC does not stop you from smiting except for suppression. However, if he's far enough away and you yank him out of range of smite, then you can actually do that. However,
pretty clever.
You know, he was close enough anyway. But just for future thought, if you can drag him away, that will work as well.
Reginald trying to clear up some bushwhacks, get that vision out of there. Could cause some problems later, maybe some initiations or some deadly ending spears. Shifter now with the needlessly large rod, probably going to fix up some Sork boots for more penetration for himself quite soon. He's a 13 to Reginald's 12 right now, but they've been doing a little bit more roaming.
All right, everyone collapsing on this blue buff. Nintendo goes in for it.
He does get it. He gets kind of pushed out of this one by the explosive cask. One
Where's it
more hit.
going?
A lot going in for this blue buff right now. Oh, it does come off in the end, but there were a lot of flashes.
Yeah, the Ignite there going to take down anyway. He gets a lot of flashes,
Yeah.
and he got the blue buff down, but does pay for it with his life, and they lose map control.
See where they're going with builds in the jungle. Odd one. Going for that lizard, so he puts himself up a Hex Drinker, worried about the spears as well. A bit of that mixed damage from Shyvana. We see damage coming out now from Nintendo. He looks to have 2 long swords for himself as well.
Now, as we do look towards that mid game, you know, Coast, we're expecting to be a little bit down here. And there's feeling still fairly comfortable about it, because it's all about can Shifter land high-impact spears in the mid game. And then they have the talisman completed. Daydreamin has rush for that one. So they do have the repositioning power. And really, I think for TSM, it's all going to be about, can Reggie land a good ulti? Can Xpecial get a good flash Tibbers? You know, not whiff that one, because they need hard engage against Shifter's late game Nidalee. We've seen it time and time again.
Right.
If you give him too many spears to throw, he's going to land one eventually onto a carry and force you out of an objective.
We'll see if TSM can drag this on, like we said about last game. Those Banshees Veils against the LeBlanc, against the Nidalee, they start helping quite a bit and allow that initiation. Odd one creeping in here, but it doesn't look like they'll get close enough. 29,000 to 31.8. AD carries have been keeping it pretty close this game. Like we said, Wiz Fusion was one of our players to watch, and he's faring quite well against that Wild Turtle Xpecial lane right now.
You know, as far as that blue buff goes, even though TSM didn't get that one,
Yeah.
you know, getting it off of Shifter, well, I guess in the end they did get it, because they killed...
Oh, top lane, yeah, he did die.
Because
Yeah.
they killed Nintendo.
The Ignite.
But really what's important is they have the timer for it. So they definitely want to invade it again. Denying an AP middly, the blue buff is definitely huge. So I think that TSM really just waiting again for that timer. If they can get control of the mid with this turret down, it'll make that secondary blue buff invade that much easier for them.
Ooh.
They're starting to hurt. He's got the death cap.
That's a pretty soft turtle shell right there. Oh, minion grab. Extra gold coming in for Daydreamin'.
Wild Turtle. Be careful. Oh, yeah.
That
The spear is in front of his face the whole time.
I think that would have killed him.
It definitely would have
That
killed him.
bushwhack would have sucked out the rest of his life.
Did you see Beowulf in 3D where the arrows come at your face? It was exactly that experience for Wild Turtle.
You know what? I have something to do after the games today.
It's great. It's a good one. I wouldn't see very many movies in 3D, but that one was good.
All right, thank you.
There you go.
I'll have to go to my local store and get some 3D glasses.
All right. Well, let's look at the mid game because we are approaching that situation here. I think some more ward coverage from Coast around this blue buff is going to be paramount for them. Xpecial doing a good job, though, clearing it out. You got one of them, but there's a sneaky ward in the back of that Wraith bush.
It's just all. He said, this game, no matter what happens, I'm going to try to steal Wraiths all the time. 4,000 gold lead, a minute and 40 for Dragon. This is like what TSM wants right now, but also what Coast wants. TSM, like we said, doesn't have too much of that initiation unless Flash Tibbers is up, which it so nicely is for Xpecial. With Shifter staying on the outside of what could happen at Dragon, start setting up a push in the bottom lane. They have a minute to go here, so they're going to be setting up.
TSM, very, very interested to see where they go because they can also siege up at a turret, make use of that Caitlyn range and Gragas ulti. The only problem for them if they do go for turret siege is it's very hard for Evelynn to get in and be effective. She really thrives on coming around from a different angle as the rest of the team, trying to flank their opponents to get off a good ulti. Darius, though, is on the chase.
This would be a lot bigger, too, if in 50 seconds Xpecial can hit level 11 and get that second tick of his ultimate in. Daydreamin' and him are the only ones sitting at 10 right now. Everybody else is ready to put full power into this fight. Right now, they're just clearing out wards, playing it real safe. They know what the timers are here. They're not trying to make any mistakes.
Yeah, trying to clear out around that blue. Dragon, though, will be coming up first, and that's going to be the first thing to fight over. Top laners will be on their own island, so the 4 versus 4 matchup.
Don't say.
Very, very interesting. Because TSM, they still have to worry about the spears. So almost the 20 seconds leading up to Dragon are just as important as that Dragon spawn. Because this is the time where Shifter trying to get a lead for his team!
Oh! A bit of a long-ranged wombo combo.
Okay, I thought he
1-2.
might go in on that hook, but he did not. So
You got me excited.
everybody calm down.
24 minutes
False
into this
alarm.
one, Dyrus hovering in the mid lane, making sure the minions don't push up too far. But that
no, he came down, and
caused
they've
up-
decided to
yeah.
split. They're going to give up the dragon. They're
Yeah.
going to go for the top. Shifter, can he steal this dragon away with a spear?
Dyrus looks like he's got some prey in his mouth, twisting and turning down behind the dragon pit.
Going for that spear.
Hold that dragon out. Oh, he splits the
nah.
trifecta of TSM opponents. Looks like Dyrus could find himself in a bad spot. Dominus is being used, and now it's a 4v1. Dyrus says, all right, let's play. Shifter's back to the turret. They still have the turret. Agony's Embrace, a flash over the wall, but they may have bitten off more than they can chew. Wild Turtle is going to get a kill onto that one, but they also lose the odd one. They're down on Daydream, and so far 2 for 1 right now, and they got to be careful here. That turret aggro is onto Reginald. He's not getting out anytime soon. Nintendo goes down. Wiz Fusion, one more shot from Turtle, and they put the shell on and go hard.
Now, even though the hook lands, Coast really don't want that fight. They're just trying to delay TSM. This is a 5 versus 4, and they knew it was a 5 versus 4. They called to give up the dragon for this. Dyrus takes up the turret as long as possible, and even though the odd one gets ultied and taken out, that's the only member of TSM that goes down for this 4-man kill. And yes, Coast got top turret for the dragon, but they also are going to lose the bottom turret. So really, really big bonus there for TSM. Coast going for that initiation. I don't know why they went for it. I think they were just trying to delay TSM. They didn't want the actual fight.
Right.
They were just trying to delay them to buy time for Zion. And they ended up just getting way more than they could actually take, because TSM, as soon as they got engaged on, went full tower dive mode.
That's what we were talking about. TSM's not going to engage from a long range. They wanted that on the front doorstep, and they picked it up. They also picked up 4 kills, whether he had them. 2, 2, and 9, 4, 0, and 1 for Wild Turtle now on the board. It looks like he's going straight for the Infinity Edges. The Phantom Dancer is finished. It's going to be pure power from him. That's not going to be very good. Armor is only right now onto Zion Spartan, so they get these team fights again. Wild Turtle's going to be doing what he does best.
That was just, it further increased the lead there for TSM. Feeling real good about their situation now. They do need to start pushing down the secondary layer of turrets, though, because they are pretty early game focused. Giant gold lead, though, definitely going to help out as they move in further. It's really going to be, will the spears from Shift... Ah, Dyrus hooks around.
Whoa, they find the sandwich. Wiz Fusion is going to be the one that gets caught. Couldn't do much about that.
Yeah, no ward coverage in their own jungle. TSM have all the coverage down there in red side. Get another turret.
That's Team Solo Mid finding an advantage and then building on it very quickly. 27 minutes in the game. They pretty much stay on the side of Coast after that dragon happens and just keep going at it. Only a few of them back. They still been just wandering about.
Uh-oh, this is very dangerous for Coast. They're down a man.
Dyrus going in, trying to get that power play to stick for them. Daydreaming didn't really want that hook, but now out of the laning phase, they're not being able to do as much as that bottom lane was. Daydream and Wiz had the bit of an advantage, and we're looking for them to come through big here. See what team or Coast can do now as a team.
Oh man, those pink wards. All right, Baron bait here. It's hard to Baron bait against Italy, though. Coast playing it very cautiously.
Flash Tibbers.
X Special comes. He got one.
Got one of them. They actually stretched out for that one quite hard, but they still have everybody in a group. There's only X Special that went off by himself, and nobody wants to toy with the little girl that's on fire. Daydreaming gets hit up quite hard. Oh, it comes from the back. The explosive cast after the Peacemaker to shred the last of the HP. Ace in the hole off to the side, hits Nintendo, takes him down, and they're going to keep going on this fight. Shifter's the next focus. The Cougar's not going to be enough, and Odd One takes him down. A double kill for Zion Spartan as they are trying to retaliate as much as possible. It's not going to be enough. Wiz Fusion goes down. Odd One gets up very low, and the ace coming in from Team Solo Mid.
Man. All right, Reggie able to chase down Daydream in here. Even though it's special engaged on the top side, it was really all just a ploy. And the rest of TSM goes straight up the blue buff there. Chases down Coast. So Zion is pretty strong, and he at least is able to chase down Wild Turtle in this. Good amount of harass there from Wiz Fusion. But as we know, the hero, the general, is able to survive this one. Get out alive with that extra reset to his W. Man, Hex Drinker Shield really coming up big for him as well.
That was a nice kill coming in for Zion Spartan. That 6, 1, and 4 Wild Turtle, so he gets more gold under his belt. We've seen Dyrus carry an entire game on Shyvana. We'll see if Zion Spartan can put himself in that position. He has 3 plays on that so far, 2-1. Dyrus is Shyvana's 4-0 right now, so he knows what he's been up against in that lane. He knows how to play against it.
Oh, vision control around Baron gets them a talisman activation. TSM pretty happy with that. Wiz Fusion does show bottom, so Coast have to be worried that TSM are working on Baron right now. And now again, it's the vision fight here. They've actually picked up a scrying orb. Shifter trying to keep his team from face checking in the Baron. Now, the problem with scrying orb is that the cooldown is so long. It's actually not that great, but I really do like seeing it.
I love this. I love it.
I love it
you
so
know,
much. The cooldown, though. The cooldown, though.
Oh, the initiation! That's what they wanted. The cask is going to be enough, and it's a bit of a wombo combo. The Lantern for Nintendo, but the flash from the odd one. He keeps throwing out the Qs. I can hear him hitting it from here. Zion Spartan's going to be going down in this if he can keep the chase. The Randuin's is on, but Zion Spartan's tied his shoes too tight, and he's out of there.
All right, 2 men down, though. It's up to the hero Spears now. Shifter, can he do it from the outside? Oh, Reggie getting chased down!
Trying to get the culling in. Can he get the W? He'll have it. But no, the body slam will be up. Reginald's fine. He may return to his team. It looks like they're actually going to try to 4-man Baron here.
Yeah.
They're only working with 3 members and really only 2 that are close enough. Not going to be the Spears coming from Shifter. Not going to be Wiz Fusion in a scary spot. Team Solo Mid grabs all 3 dragons of the game, and now at 30 minutes, the first Baron.
I have got to shout out Reggie, too. He has not died in this game. He's playing so well, having not played for so long, and he just hops right back in. I think getting that comfort pick for him was very big for TSM. And banning out especially the really tough matchups like now, like Lulu off the board, having him not have to play against that, really did a lot for them.
And they picked that up, I'd say, right in that pick, too. I think he picked his own champion because it was the Renekton and then the Caitlyn, so he was happy blind picking that on the red side over to whatever Shifter had to take. Very confident about the Gragas play. He's been putting in some hours, like we heard his brother say. They were solo queuing, him and Dan Din, as much as they could, trying to get Reggie back into practice. So far, so good.
Hey, that gives hope to all the D3 players. Diamond 3, Reggie transferred very easily into LCS play.
You only have to play 16 hours a day.
Nah, he's got years.
Yeah.
5 years of experience to fall back on, so not that easy to jump back in. TSM, though, they're feeling really good about this position. With that Baron buff, should be pretty easy for them to siege up. And at that point, you still have to always worry about the ult from Reggie. If he can get one of the low health members to knock forward, it's an easy combo with a special. I mean, you always have to worry about the Annie and the Gragas ulti, even at your turret. Turtle is going to be trying to get pot shots off at this turret. We'll have to see how the siege goes as they do loop around. Dyrus looking for that side flanking.
I gotta say, just as a one-off, pretty good farming by everyone in this game. Around 30 minutes, a lot of people hitting 300. You almost have Shifter staying on that 10 a minute. See the grab on and an odd one. That's not really what they wanted.
Good spear though. Low health Turtle.
Brute force right here. They have Zion Spartan on the initiation and Tendude X on that dive buddy roll call.
They killed off the golems already, so Turtle does not have anything to lifesteal off.
True.
He needs that next wave to get through. Reggie, please don't kill that wave. Turtle needs to lifesteal off it.
That was a good barrel anyway.
Yeah. Zoning barrel.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Man-to-man defense.
All right, Turtle back at full.
There we go.
It's going to be really hard for Coast. They have to get another one of those. And you can see them respecting X Special's range plus his flash. It's actually good zone control there of Coast to know that X Special has his flash up and not to get too close to get flash tippers.
Big gold lead, 61,000 to 46,000 right now. Team Solo Mid with so much to keep these fights going or just keep the pressure onto Coast. Once it's initiated, they have 2 Randuins to fly through this fight with. The Mikhails as well. So much more to be used here. Dyrus's Banshee's Veils just getting popped on and off. That's the grab they want, but they're not going to go. Reginald took big damage there, but they want to go back and forth still. Explosive cast used out. It's getting a little bit better. Ults are being used. 33 minutes in, this is getting real tight, and that Baron is something they don't want to fight.
Baron buff regen now comes into play because fairly even trades there. TSM actually getting a little bit of the worse, but they've got so much more regen, and Coast can't afford to go back to their fountain right now. This is going to be the final push on this turret.
You can't lock him up. All those Caitlyn traps are stopping him, but Zion Spartan dives in and he gets taken down immediately. There goes the odd one. That's 1 for 1 so far, but will it be enough? Coast is actually on their heels way too much right now, and it is going to be the turret, going to be the inhibitor. A huge hit there from Reginald. Can he get a body slam into another cast? No, it's just going to be enough for Dyrus. Looks not good right now for Coast inside their base. It's just being shredded. TSM's going to walk out with a few kills there. The gold lead is just mounting right now.
Yep. Tibbers. Oh, everybody Tibber fans. Takes one for the team. 50 gold for Shifter. All right.
The trifecta of eyes guarding Baron for Team Solo Mid right now is a little creepy. Nobody's been up there lately. Bottom's down, bottom's taken, so they really don't have to worry about too much. There's so much pressure that's going to be pouring through there now. TSM has more control than Coast would really want them to.
Coast, like, they cannot even venture up to that Baron area. That's like the Bermuda Triangle of pink wards. If they go up there, they're going to disappear and die, never to return.
That sounds very likely, actually, at this point.
Now,
6 to 3 in turrets. It looks completely dark on the side of Coast right now. It's a little scary to be walking around. They're going to get all the lanes pushed here, and it's just about a matter of time for Team Solo Mid.
well, they're looking to shove right down another lane here. Bottom will be pushing for them. Who will clear the bottom? They don't have great wave clear. I mean, I guess Wiz will be trying to clear bottom and then dash back up to the fight if a fight breaks out. It is hard for Coast to wave clear, though, so we'll have to see how they deal with this secondary push from TSM with those super minions knocking on the bottom.
TSM doing a very good job throughout the early part of the game, staving off what Coast was doing in the bottom lane. Good kills from Wiz Fusion, Daydream, and Nintendude, but it didn't seem like they were able to create anything off of those kills.
Yeah. Reggie with a GA now, too. He does not want to die.
I'd say that's a good policy. Yeah. Maybe that's why he hasn't died yet.
Because he doesn't want to?
Oh,
he's still playing aggressive, though.
It's still Reggie.
Right up there into the turret.
Reggie.
All right, so they opt for Shifter to do it. He's getting to half life, though, and him being there means they have no hope because the spears aren't going to be landing on TSM during this siege. TSM going to be able to get this turret. Whoa, halfway through, Zion jumped!
Oh, wow, they're able to bully this out. He can't thread the needle, but that's Wiz having to take the ace in the hole for half of his HP. The turret goes down. Team Solo Mid just pretty much flexing their muscles, brute forcing their way into the base. The Culling's not going to do much from the backside. They already get Nintendude, turning their eyes on to Daydream, and they make quick work to him, putting them to sleep. Wiz Fusion
GA pop!
gets that GA pop.
Dyrus protecting his coach!
Bro risk coming up big there. 70,000 gold about to click over here for Team Solo Mid. 20,000 gold lead is what we're looking at.
Dyrus going to get a bonus after this game.
See where Shifter, you can find anybody?
Oh, find Dyrus, that's rough, actually. People, they knock on Renekton's end game, but that's only if Renekton has the same gold as other champions. His early game is so strong that he has so much more gold in the late game that his late game is actually beastly right now because he has a whole extra item, 2 items on Zion.
Team Solo Mid really playing off the ball here.
Whoa, Reggie on the front line.
Minions in the bottom lane. Wild Turtle gets hit. Zion dives right in, and that doesn't work out too well for him, but a good spear on the Wild Turtle from the side gets a retribution for the dragon kill. One going on to Wiz Fusion, and they're losing more and more. Those pings say do not do it, and that turret in the bottom for the Nexus is just a tick away from going down.
They have 2 inhibitors down. They cannot stay out that long, but it was a pretty good win for Coast getting Turtle down and stopping Baron. It's such a long road to get back at this game, though.
Definitely going to be a hard task. Shifter, the only one with really enough safety to get himself out and back through the jungle, is going to do so to try and clear pink wards that are only going to be put back up. They're fighting a war that keeps going. Yeah, that's true. Didn't find the one in the brush. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem, as the fight that happens at Baron will probably be the last fight of the game, if that's where it takes place.
So yeah, there's There's really two paths here. Neither of them look good for Coast. Either it's a fight at Baron where they have no vision, or it's a Baroned up TSM attacking your exposed inhibitor. Neither of those sound like good choices. So they're really going to have to choose a lesser of two evils. Just try and defend their base, most likely.
You can usually say we have a few levels to wait when things aren't looking good. Everybody has maybe 4 or 5 levels to 18, but TSM is pretty much hitting that bar right now. Nintendo X is actually 2 behind the odd one. His initiations are becoming that much more dangerous, and he's not really getting the items. He's gone after that defense full damage because the team needs it.
Yeah, they need to be able to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Even if they do get initiations so hard. Dyrus does come up, so it will be the 5-man TSM, and Coast come out of the base. Try and contest this one. There goes the Scrying Orb.
Here's the Cavalry. Nintendo gets hit up right. Wow, he disappeared from the map. Warp speed. Nintendo down for 50 seconds. Reginald and the team looked like to go to the top side and follow the minions in, but they have a lot of work they can do if anything goes wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very close. Shifter on the chase. I don't know if he's going to... Oh, the Randuins did hit. Can he get the passive movement speed out of the brush? Here comes the ultimate, the barrier. Nidalee usage. There's the... Oh, the Primal Surge! Juked out! Broken ankles for Odd One.
Shifter with the moves. Their base is still going to get destroyed, though.
Yeah, it looked good for a little bit. Got to take the good with the bad. 40 minutes into this game, 22-7. It has slowed TSM down a little bit. They got him distracted on the chase of Shifter, but
yeah,
only for a little bit.
And they got one Banshees. Pretty tanky odd one here, though. Hook him in.
Oh, missed the W. Could have been some good damage. 40 minutes, like I said. It's getting really, really crazy here for Coast. They're going to have to make one good fight. They got to watch out for the Flash Tibbers initiation, which is up. That stun is up.
It's go time for Coast here.
It's a Baroned up TSM. Inhibitor goes down. Zion Spartan is caught. That needed to be used offensively. There's no time for the defensive use of spells.
All right, 3 inhibitors down. Baroned up TSM. This is very, 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 very sad times for Coast now.
Strong game played by Team Solo Mid. There's the initiation in Tendu. Like we said, trying to get the damage in with that new black cleaver he put in his belt. Spears to the backside. They trade good damage. Shifter over to Wild Turtle, but it's the focus of Wiz, Zion, and Daydream, and all huddled around Dyrus' dominance, taking consistent damage, making sure he was in the middle of the fight. TSM looks to the Nexus turrets, and they look to grab the second win in Super Week over Coast.
Reggie 6-0-14.
Yeah, coming in big on the game. 14-3 now on the spring split in 2014. Team Solo Mid takes the win.
So they go back to their roots. All strong early game champions. The strong lanes with the threat of Evelyn's jungle. Much more in their play style. Much more success this time than they had last week. So pretty much as expected here.
Really great play. Cannot forget Nintendo X again on the Q, the Flash Q prediction. Getting special in the bottom lane. Really, I'd say that's still a big play.
That was beautiful.
That was great.
It was a great play and a great opening for Team Coast.
Yeah. Strong play. Definitely a different game of Evelyn that we saw. It was really kind of a Sentry Evelyn, letting the team know where things was, what was safe to do and what was not safe to do. Odd One wasn't pulling off huge ganks. He was kind of just an all-around map vision board.
Yeah.
Moving board.
Yeah, exactly. He did get his one powerful gank with Flash early to get his bottom lane back in. But yeah, other than that, like I said, going tanky after his Spirit of the Elder Lizard. And then just end game getting the Blade of the Ruined King for the extra Baron control there. I do like the play from TSM coming out. They look pretty strong with TSM. A lot of the fans, after they heard that Bjergsen was going to be out for the whole Super Week, they started to lose a little confidence. But after this opening, maybe they'll get that confidence back.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of teams expected to come in here knowing that mid lane could be something that they would focus on, maybe get Reginald out of his game, get in his head, because once you kind of take out the shot caller, things get a little more quiet. And we've seen what happens when that happens to Reggie. The rest of the team falls behind. So other teams may have to reconsider their strategy coming into this week with that play.
I think that this is actually good training for TSM because Reggie coming back, he's not really focusing a whole lot on shot calling for everybody else, focusing on his own play.
Yeah.
And so the rest of the team has to do a lot of communication. good little training
Lot of
exercise for them.
communication. All right, remember to share your favorite moments from today by tweeting us at LOL Esports and use the hashtag LCSBigPlays. We've got a recall to base, but when we return, Freak and Jat will talk with Dyrus and Reginald about their win. Then Counter Logic Gaming looks to extend their hot streak when they take on Dignitas. The NA LCS continues after this. Nobody wants to toy with the little girl that's on fire. Daydreamin' gets hit up quite hard. Oh, it comes from the back. The explosive cast after the Peacemaker to shred the last of the HP. Ace in the hole off to the side, hits Nintendo, takes him down. And they're going to keep going on this fight. Shifter's the next focus. The Cougar's not going to be enough, and Odd One takes him down. A double kill for Zion Spartan as they are trying to retaliate as much as possible. It's not going to be enough when Fusion goes down. Odd One gets up very low, and the Ace coming in from Team Solo Mid.